Okay, so just take a quick look at the Bergen XI-ON sockets. We looked at the Nielsen ones before. I realised that I did look at a video. One of you did look at these Bergen sockets, but some of my viewers might not have seen these, so might as well do a review of these as well. Now the pack I ordered was red, exactly the same, but the red pack, but the blue one is the one that come. That's obviously not that big a deal. The usual Bergen setup with a cardboard insert. If you want to leave that in or take that out, it doesn't really matter. This thing though, it's just taped on there on the corner. Now you've got your sizes already on the pack, which is a good thing because I actually printed off some sticky labels and stuck them on the Bergen packs what I had, so you can tell at a glance where you are. I know they were horizontally laid, so you can adjust them so the size is actually facing upwards on the regular Bergen sockets, but or the deep ones anyway. But you still need to really get down close to be able to read the imprint on the actual socket side itself. So it is good that you can actually from looking down from head height, you can already see, oh, I need a 5. I'm already going down to it and I've got it. You don't have to mooch about. But if we take a look at the sockets themselves, so taking a look at the socket itself, we zoom in, you can see that there's the two grooves again, exactly like the Nielsen, and on 3 jaws or 3 sides of the socket you got there is indents there on the inside of the drive. You got a nail that kind of doesn't grip very, just there for decoration, I would suspect. It doesn't grip brilliantly. They never do when they're plated anyway, because it kind of fills in all the gaps that the nail's there to create. You got the XI-ON logo, chrome vanadium, and the size on there, you can see, and the Bergen logo, which looks a little bit thinner than usual, as does the XI-ON logo. It looks a little bit thinner. It's a little bit curly like the Nielsen one is, but it's not as thick. It's thinner. But the one on the sample pack looks slightly different to that on the Bergen sample pack. So I'm still, maybe they're made by the same people as the Nielsen ones. Who knows? I'm still, the jury's still a bit out on that for me. But it is possible. I like the Nielsen ones. These have just one. It might be that small that you might not just be able to make it over. They do. There we go. You can see there. They just have the one groove, exactly the same as the Nielsen ones for the smaller sockets. You can see it better there. The one groove there on the one side, and the one again. So the smaller ones look a little like that. Now then again, make this a slightly shorter video because the other one didn't have to go for a long time talking about some sockets. I don't really know how it did, but there you go. But yeah, we got all the sizes. We've got the 4.5 and the 5.5 included. The range up to the 14, right up to the 14 there, none of them missing. So you got the full range there. If you need a pack, obviously Nielsen do a shallow set of XI-ON sockets as well, which will match and go with the deep ones. But if you're looking for a shallow set to go with your Nielsen deep XI-ON sockets to perform, obviously both XI-ON performing the same job, The reason for these, if you don't know, if you haven't read the other one, is that the rounded nuts, they grab onto that groove in the sides of the brooch and grips onto rounded off nuts, and you can remove them, which is a good thing if you're dealing with a lot of Chinese nuts and bolts. They tend to round fairly easily, or rusty bolts tend to round easily. But if you're looking for a set to go with your XI-ON deep 1/4 inch drive from Nielsen, then this is a good alternative to their own one, because these are only about £8, £8.89 or something, 39 or something like that. Yeah, whereas the cheapest Nielsen shallow ones you'll find is about £12.50, and they usually sell for about between £15 to £24. So these are probably the better value deal when it comes to shallow XI-ON 1/4.